Nintendo Switch. Let's see what's wrong with this one. This is a prospective new client. So it says not charging. System has been worked on by someone else. Not sure of all of its issues. So this one could be a rabbit hole. Translation, possible rabbit hole. Let's see what it's doing on power. And we're stuck at 0.08. Switch to the other side. Same deal. See if we're picking up 15 volts from our OEM or if it's just 5 volts. Not picking up from the OEM at all right now. Yeah, the OEM's not working at all. Nothing. Alright. So we're getting straight no power from the OEM, and it looks like it's drawing like a 0.08 from the power supply. So we're probably just going to have to open this one up and take a look at the ports, and it looks pristine. So I'm going to say it's not the port. So anyway, we will disassemble enough to do some testing and get a look at the board and go from there. Okay, we've disassembled enough to do some testing. So let me switch you to microscope so that you can follow along, and we'll start. I've already done a visual inspection of the board. The board looks pretty much pristine, at least on this side. They said there was some prior repair work done, but I am not seeing evidence of it thus far. Even the port looks factory. So let's test our N92T36. Make sure I'm focused in for you. We'll start with the the Pi 3 USB capacitor. This goes through the N92T36 and ends up over there on the Pi 3 USB. Usually if it's bad, you have a bad Pi 3 USB. The way you tell if it's bad is you follow the trace going from the capacitor to the chip. And that's the side you don't want to be shorted to ground, and it is not. Seems fine. Okay, now we're going to follow those lines going to the N92T36 on the rest of these capacitors. Alright, so these two right here are shorted. Those are tied to N92T36 itself. So it looks like we have a bad N92T36. Okay, so this one has a dual. So two lines going to the chip. Anytime you have two lines going to the chip, one side from a capacitor, one side will be ground. So that's fine. Let's check our CPU cap. If this cap is bad, it shows short, it's usually not a good sign for your switch, but it's fine. Alright, we'll run up here and check our MOSFETs, and they are fine. Check our little filter, good to go. Let's check our invincible fuse, and it's still being invincible. Alright, let's check our test pads. This one should be ground. None of these should be. Very good. Check this one. We're going to check our filter. It's still being a good filter. Check this one. None of these should be grounded. Very good. We'll check our caps around the BQ24193 while we're here. Again, if you the BQ24193 has a bunch of them that have dual lines into the chip, so one of those sides will always be ground. You just want one side to be ground, not both. So everything looks good there. One of these will be ground. That one is positive. That one's negative. Alright. Everything looks pretty good on this side of the board other than an N92T36. But we need to pull the board and test everything on the other side of the board. Primarily what we're looking for is to visually inspect the other side of the board and test the Pi 3 USB area. And then if everything checks out, we'll replace the N92T36 and hopefully solve this switch. We'll be back once we're ready to do that. Okay, we have the board out of the housing, enough to do some more testing. And we want to take a look around the Pi 3 USB area specifically, and we also want to visually inspect this side of the board. Switch you over to microscope momentarily. Okay, so let's do some testing. Okay, now we on these dual filters, we want continuity straight through. We do not want them side to side. Okay, everything looks good there. I'll find the ground. Now, same deal with this chip. We want to find the signal line going to the chip. That's the side we on the capacitor. This big capacitor is what we want to test. And we'll look for the signal line going to the chip. And that's the side we do not want to be shorted to ground. And it is not. So very good. Let's do a quick visual inspection of this side of the board just to be sure. Because, again, I'm a little perplexed by them saying work has been done to it before. But I honestly am not seeing any evidence of rework. This all looks factory, which is a good thing actually. It means there's a much higher chance of me being able to repair it. Let's get another look into this port just to be sure. It looks good on that side. Take a look on the other side. Everything looks good on that side. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab our board holder and we're going to set up to change M92 T36. Okay, while I'm setting up my equipment, we will throw up our temperatures, expected temperatures for this job. Go ahead and grabbing a chip, switch you back to microscope, get you zeroed in here. Chip is ready. Okay, we'll pull the chip, and then we'll put the new chip on and test from there. Okay, real quick, let's make sure our short to ground has been relieved on those capacitors. Alright, they are no longer short. Very good. Let's put a new chip on. Okay, I think that's fine for performing a short test, a quick test rather. And what I want to see is just what sort of behavior we're getting. If it's changed from the 0.08. Okay, that looks relatively normal to me. Alright, that looks relatively normal to me. We'll grab our battery dongle or power squid, or modified power squid that was originally made for iPhones. We put a nintendoswitch battery connectors on it. It works great. I think I like it better than the pulling the battery board as far as reliability. Alright, and for this we'll have to activate with our OEM. Look at channel 2. Kind of want to see a steady climb. Yeah, this looks like it's booting. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. I have no reason to think that this is not working. Turn that one off. So, this one may have ended up being a simple one, or not. We'll see. It isn't over yet. This one has diode arrays and all sorts of things that can cause complications, but I think we're okay. Anyway, we're going to put it back in the housing actually after I clean up this area a little bit, but no need to show that on screen. I'll clean up, we'll put it back in the housing enough to test and go from there. Okay, I think we're ready to perform a test. We're together back together enough to perform a test anyway. We're going to grab our PSU cable and we have our known good battery in. So let's see what happens here. Okay, full battery symbol. That's good. Resetting to turn on. And booting. And touch. Awesome. Okay, so let's switch it around and make sure we're charging on both sides. And we are fast charging on both sides. Wonderful. Okay, so next thing we need to do is we need to reassemble entirely so we can perform all the tests that we need to perform. We'll do Joy-Con, we'll do internet, we'll do dock tests, and really if everything checks out this will be done, but everything's got to check out first. So we'll go from there and we'll be back. Okay, we're back and up and running on their battery. So let's do some testing. Make sure the volume is up. And I'm going to use my Joy-Cons because none were provided. Make sure everything is good. Why is my sound not working? Okay, that's interesting. Volume's all the way up, but my sound's not working. It was working earlier, so I'll have to double check and make sure I haven't done anything. But we're charging both Joy-Cons. Yeah, I don't get why my sound's not working. Check our internet real quick. Make sure we're picking up our internet. Alright. I'm going to reboot this because for some reason it was working moments ago. But I'm not hearing it now. So let me reboot this. We're going to reboot it on its own battery, make sure we're not getting an error. Yeah, I'm still not getting sound. I'm not sure why I'm not getting sound. We were getting sound when it booted up, so that's strange. Okay. Back up. Is there some sort of setting that I'm not seeing? Strange. Let me plug my game in and make sure it is being seen. I'm probably going to have to take this back off and figure out what the heck's going on with my sound. Like I said, it was working when this thing powered up, so I don't understand where it's gone and why it's not working now. We're definitely not getting it. Okay, we'll recognize that. Loading the game. Still no sound. That is bothering me. Alright, well, it's reading the game. Okay. So I'm going to set it for a dock test, but I'm also going to disassemble and figure out what the heck is going on with our volume. Alright, I'll see if I can figure out what the heck's going on with that, and then we'll come back with the dock tests and hopefully solve volume. Okay, as you can see, it is docking. So it's charging on both sides. It's docking. The sound situation, I replugged in the speakers and it appears to be working again, but I will demonstrate it to you. I think there may be a failing speaker in there, but I don't have any speakers on hand, so I may have to contact the client and see what they want to do about that. But let me pull it back out and see if it's working again, and I will demonstrate it to you, and we'll be back. Okay, so sound is not working again. Since I docked it, it decided to stop working again, unfortunately. I think it's a failing speaker. I heard some staticky noise when it was giving me this sound. So I think, like I said, I think it's one failing speaker or maybe both. But I'll have to go through the rest of the switches they sent. And if one turns out to not be fixable, I may just throw the speakers in that. But I need to go through the rest of them and see. And I'll come back once I have a solution for that, or what I know what the client wants to do after I've gone through the rest. But anyway, the power issue is fixed with it, and we'll see what we can do about the speaker. Hopefully we'll be back with good news at some point. Okay, it's a few days later, and I totally forgot to record the final result on this. And I actually have already mailed the Nintendo switches off to the potential new client. That looks like it's going to work out, by the way. So what I ended up doing is I hit up one of my local clients and checked to see if they had any Nintendo Switch speakers laying around. And they did. They were absolutely happy to give me a pair of them, which was awesome. So I installed what I did was I installed I just decided to try one at a time, so I installed the right one, the right one in the orientation if you're looking down at the screen. I installed the right one. That seemed to solve the problem. The client reports that there's been no issues, so everything checks out. So it was just the right speaker that was the bad one. It was actually a bad speaker. So everything checked out on that. The switch is working great. The client's very happy, and that's great too. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you have any questions about the equipment I used in this video, take a look in the description below. They're all linked down there. I've updated the links, so they're affiliate links, and there's more other stuff that I use. Also, there's some channel support links there if you don't feel obligated to use those, but if you want to throw me something, I'd be appreciative. If you like this video, do me a favor, hit the like button on your way up. And if you want to see more videos like it, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and you'll know when I post videos, which right now is about twice a week. If you want to, or if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. If I can't, I'll try to direct you somewhere that can answer them. Boy, that's really all I'd ask you. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the channel support, and we'll see you in the next one.